Hi, I'm Robert Tolby. There's a concerning trend I've noticed on TikTok recently, and that is the normalization of owning an exotic pet. From lorises to mantises, these adorable pets come in all sizes and species. But there's one thing that they all have in common. No one should own these wild animals as pets. So I'm wondering why there's this uptick in exotic pet videos in my feed. My awareness of this problem began with this video, an influencer feeding her orchid mantis a delicious wasp. The video didn't really stand out to me until another TikToker pointed out that in the wild, orchid mantises are incredibly rare, and the little rainforest habitat they have left is being destroyed by deforestation, especially by the palm oil industry. But certainly that shouldn't matter, as orchid mantises purchased by responsible owners are raised in captivity, right? And I'm sure this influencer researched where her orchid mantis came from and got it from a reputable breeder. However, this is not where my concern lies. My concern stems from the thousands of comments on these videos expressing interest in buying an orchid mantis, and the fact that ever since these videos went viral, basically all reputable sellers of orchid mantises have been out of stock for months, leaving room for less than reputable vendors to fill that gap in sales. You see, poaching is another threat to wild orchid mantis populations, and bug smuggling is at an all-time high. In 2018, U.S. Customs at JFK seized 245 cylinders containing orchid mantis eggs. And just last November, officials at the Cincinnati port of entry discovered an illegal shipment of mantis eggs hidden inside plastic children's toys. And these are just the shipments we know about. No doubt countless many more mantises have been poached or smuggled to fill this insatiable demand for exotic bugs that these influencers have only amplified. I don't want to slander these influencers, especially Hannah, but unfortunately, influencers like her are doing a great deal of harm to the very species that they care so deeply about. It's not only orchid mantises that concern me. I've also seen viral videos featuring a very rare and endangered animal known as a slow loris. These primates are adorable, but owning one as a pet is a terrible idea. The vast majority of them are smuggled into the countries where pet owners buy them because they are highly illegal to own in most parts of the world. As cute as they look, slow lorises have disturbingly sharp teeth, so traders normally excise them, which can cause infection and death. In fact, between 30 and 90% of all slow lorises die before they ever reach their owners. Despite these facts, videos on social media featuring these primates get millions of views, instead of the people who film them getting into legal trouble. Irresponsible owners are rewarded with likes and shares. And after seeing so many videos of these exotic pets, you can start to see the patterns in the kinds of people who make them. So what does the general profile of one of these exotic pet owners look like? I'm going to focus on the case of Nika, who is a mid-sized wildcat known as a caracal, because her situation is pretty typical when it comes to the shady exotic pet side of TikTok. First off, frequently the owners of these pets live in countries, in this case Russia, where laws regarding exotic pets are basically non-existent. When it comes to the competency of these owners, from what I've seen, your average TikTok exotic pet owner is woefully ill-equipped to take care of their animal. Although some exotic pet owners fare better than others, this isn't the case when it comes to Nika. And it's clear from these videos that the cat is not being properly taken care of. Although I'm not a vet, commenters point out that she is visibly overweight. Even more concerningly, but not surprisingly, the animal has no proper enclosure and is allowed to roam the owner's house freely. The owner has many small domestic pets that the animal interacts directly with. This shows that she clearly doesn't know just how dangerous caracals are, which is weird because a quick Google search will bring up stories like this.
A mother and her 6-year-old daughter were hospitalized after an attack by an exotic cat which was seen prowling the neighborhood streets of Bloomington, Illinois. It was a caracal. It's a small cat typically found in the wild in Africa and Central Asia, capable of leaping 12 feet in the air to attack its prey.
The fact is, she and her other pets are in danger of being severely injured or killed by this animal. It simply does not belong in someone's home. But despite this, there is such a prodigious incentive, in the financial sense especially, to continue to own these pets, to the point at which I don't think the owners care anymore. For instance, Nika's owner uses her animal to sell pet products in her e-commerce store. But there's also private owners of exotic animals on TikTok who profit directly off of their animals by selling tickets to have experiences with them. And they use their platforms as a viral marketing tool to sell these tickets. Anyone who's seen Tiger King will recognize the familiar name of one of these influencers, Doc Antle. Yeah, that Doc Antle. His page is filled with videos of tigers and other animals acting completely adorable at his complex. What could possibly be wrong with that? Well, it turns out his operation is exploitative, unregulated, and should probably be shut down immediately. I'm not sure how aware TikTok is of just how despicable this man is, as they not only allowed him to garner a following of over 1.9 million people, but he was verified by TikTok. That's right, they gave him their seal of approval, and he's allowed to have a number to call in his bio to purchase tickets to his events. Book a photo session at Preservation Station. And this is all despite the fact that the Humane Society has uncovered that he breeds the tigers that he uses in these TikToks at an obscene rate, as many as 50 per season, to satisfy the demand for these cub petting activities, not only for his operation, but for others as well. According to the Humane Society, he sells his tigers illegally across state lines, clearly with zero regard to their health. As part of their undercover investigation, as reported in Rolling Stone, they followed a cub named Sarabi, who was pulled away from its mother at 3 weeks old, driven 19 hours from Doc Antle's South Carolina park all the way to Oklahoma, and on the day of the cub's arrival to another park, came into direct contact with 27 visitors despite being infected with ringworm. It goes to show just how little these breeders care about the animals they transport. And it also shows just how little they care about the danger these animals pose to the health and safety of their clientele. In this case, when it comes to the diseases that these animals may carry. And while a ringworm-infected tiger certainly is a health concern, there are a lot worse things than a rash. For instance, the diseases transmitted by this little guy, who seems pretty innocent, but his presence anywhere near people is bad news. That's because he's a kind of rodent known as a Gambian pouched rat, a species kept as an exotic pet that viewers of John Oliver may recognize single-handedly caused the 2003 monkeypox epidemic in the United States. They are an African species native to Ghana. So I can only imagine the surprise of the doctors at a Wisconsin clinic when they discovered that their patient had been infected with a disease never before seen on the continent of North America. Luckily, out of the 47 cases tracked down by the CDC, none of them were fatal. But next time some crazy exotic pet loaded with some horrible disease comes into the US, we might not be so lucky. In fact, experts point to exotic pets as a likely source of the world's next pandemic. While some animals might carry deadly diseases, others are a plague in their own right, like this long boy. Isn't he adorable? He is a Burmese python, a kind of snake at the center of one of the worst cases of exotic species in the United States. On August 23rd, 1992, Category 5 Hurricane Andrew was tearing up the Florida coast just south of Miami, destroying buildings with wind speeds reaching upwards of 150 miles an hour. A breeding facility filled with baby Burmese pythons happened to be in its path. Hundreds of baby snakes fled the damaged complex and ended up in the Florida Everglades, which is native to many rare and endangered species. As the snakes grew and reproduced, they wreaked havoc on the delicate wetland ecosystem, devouring everything in their path. So just how much of an impact did these snakes have on the Everglades? Well, in 2012, the U.S. Geological Survey conducted a study that found that populations of raccoons, opossums, and bobcats dropped by 87 to 99% since 1997. And marsh rabbits, cottontail rabbits, and foxes effectively disappeared because of these ravenous snakes. There is currently no comprehensive plan to fix this issue, and it seems for now the fauna of the Everglades is at the mercy of legislators who don't seem to care enough to prevent owners from releasing their giant pets out into the wild. And this goes beyond just the reptile trade. Exotic fish, for example, can destroy entire ecosystems as well. Just look how aquarium releases of lionfish starting in the 1980s have resulted in the destruction of coral ecosystems in the Atlantic, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Caribbean. But the danger they pose to these ecosystems doesn't stop TikTokers from owning them as pets. What I'm happy about is that I'm not the only person who has noticed this issue. Insider wrote a great article about it. The expert that Insider interviewed, an exotic vet, stated the reason why videos of exotic pets on social media are so harmful is that they inspire people to purchase these pets, whether or not they have the means or knowledge or experience to take care of them, which in this veterinarian's experience results in these pets being harmed or killed. TikTok says that they do not allow content displaying the harm of animals on their platform, but it is nearly impossible to moderate content that doesn't explicitly harm animals, but encourages users to partake in harmful behavior towards them. I hope to see the platform take further steps to limit the reach of videos displaying people keeping dangerous animals as pets, just out of the interest of keeping people safe, especially people who might be younger, the kind of people who are watching these TikToks. And I hope that regulators take this opportunity to crack down on the illicit exotic pet trade and ownership of exotic pets by incompetent people in general. Anyways, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. Maybe even check out my Patreon. And I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.